Okay, so now we're going to build a gear differential. So first thing is these are obviously our narrow gears, and then in here we have our tungsten carbide diff balls and our ceramic thrust bearing, which I've never used one of these thrust bearings before, so we'll see how this goes. Now, what I was wanting to explain to you guys, the difference in steel diff balls, tungsten diff balls, and ceramic diff balls. Steel are obviously less true, so they won't spin as smoothly as tungsten will. And tungsten will not spin as smoothly as ceramic will. Ceramic will spin smoother than that. So the reason I'm using tungsten instead of ceramic is that steel balls are the easiest to adjust your way to adjust your differential. You know, by tightening this down, you cause more friction on the diff balls. By loosening it, less friction. And you just have to find the right amount of friction that feels good for you. Now, all the stuff, if you look online, like all the great racers, all of them run a tight ball differential, which means it's pretty tight. It means there's not a lot of movement in it. So using tungsten diff balls will be easier to adjust and get the correct tension in your ball diff than using ceramic. And I wanted to use tungsten because it's not as bad as steel. They're smoother than steel will. They're not as smooth as ceramics. But ceramics are the most difficult to adjust correctly. So that's why I wanted to use these. And that's just kind of give you guys some ideas. So first thing you want to do though is you want to put some grease. First thing to do, I'm using this MIP grease stuff instead of my normal AE grease because I think that it's going to be a little better. So the first thing you want to do, got my big hand in the way, is you want to put some grease down inside here. Now, let me find something to use that'd be a little easier. Where's all my flat? There we are. Okay, so I'll use this little tool right here. So you get the grease down inside there and you kind of move it around, and the reason that you do that is because this grease is going to hold your diff balls in position. So that's the first thing that we're doing. I'm putting a little bit of grease all through here to try to make that when we drop our diff balls in here, they won't just fall through the other end. Right there, perfect. Okay, so you guys can see we have all the grease inside there now. Now what we'll do is we'll put our diff balls in there. I have these nice little tweezers that I got, and so what I do is get a hold of it like that. See, I just drop it right there, and the grease keeps it from falling clean through. Right there. There we go. All those are in there. Now I use Team Associated trucks because Team Associated vehicles, I use them because they have the most kind of stuff that they offer. Now we need to put some diff on these right here. They have more options than anything else. Okay, so now what we do is take our silicone diff lube, put a thin layer all the way around here. You can see we have all our grease all around there. Then we put our ring on, like so. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Kicking the crap out of the camera. Do the same thing again. Got that done. Okay, next is our thrust bearing. Now, take this, okay, and you put this this thrust bearing, make sure you guys can see this, has grooves on both sides of the, see the grooves inside of it? On both sides. So when you put that on, obviously put it on where the grooves are facing towards the balls. So we'll do that. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some MIP grease on it. Let me clean this off. Which is this green crap right here. Actually. Thread gel. They have two different kinds of colored MIP grease here. Use the blue stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this blue stuff, and as you guys can see, I'm going to put it on where the, all around this here. Like that. And when you build a diff, without a ceramic thrust bearing, a cage thrust bearing, you know, put that on top of there like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some more MIP grease on this other side of this ceramic thrust bearing. Like this. To where it's got good grease on both sides. Then, so it's like that. Make sure you guys can see that real well. That's the ceramic thrust bearing. It's got grease on both sides. We put our other one down on top of it. See how it looks, and then bring it together like that. And then kind of clean it up like this. This is how I do it. I do it with the other one as well. Move it around a little bit. Feels pretty good. Okay, so there, that's done now. Now that's a ceramic thrust bearing. So next, what you do, you take your piece right here, take your piece right here, run through there like that. Okay, set that down for a second. Hold crap off my hands here. Okay, now we're going to use, now here's something else. In your manual for building in a T5M or an SC5M, the manual says it's a 5x8 bearing. Okay, I measured mine and it's actually a 5x8 by 2.5 because I wanted to find out the right one, because I wanted to get an aftermarket one that was, I want to use an Aurora bearing like these in it. Okay, so now what we do, put that bearing in there. Let me find my 2mm wrench here. This is going to be a lot easier if I do it like this. Boom. Boom. Make sure you guys can see that real well. Yeah. Okay. And then this is our open Aurora bearing. Putting down inside there. Boom. See? Like that. They're open Aurora bearings in there. Now, we'll put, where's our other bearing? Let's drop our gear on there. Like so. See, now we have our gear on there. Drop our other bearing on there. Make sure it goes down inside there like it's supposed to. Make sure you guys can see. There, that bearing's down inside there. Now we put our other on top of here, the other part of our outdrive. Doesn't seem like it's fitting very well. There it goes. There we go. There. Now we're all together. Now, what we need to do first is they say to take your spring in your manual and to clamp it, to bring it down. Clamp it all the way down first. So there, we've compressed it all the way down. Now we take and we put it on the other end, obviously not the thread end, so you guys can see that. Ball's right down inside there. Then, I should have broke this off before I did that. And this is all the stuff from and you can see the edges here. When you set it in, obviously you line it up. Okay, like that. And then push it down all the way, obviously, because it's not pushed down all the way. Still not pushed down all the way. Okay, now you guys can see it starting to pull in. Ooh, see that? Starting to pull in. So what you do is you pretty much, you can see it, you tighten it all the way down. Like that. And then you loosen it 1/4 of a turn, it says. Now, I've built a couple different ball discs before in the past, but feels pretty good. Feels pretty good. Let's clean it up a little bit. I got grease all over everything. Wow, feels really smooth. And I loosened it up, and and we'll break it in later. Now, this other piece, your little piece right here, this is a cap that goes on top of your diff cover. So you can see that side has the bolt in it. So this cap is just like the other thing. It goes right on there like that. It goes right on there. Like that. Feels pretty good. Yeah, feels pretty good. That's pretty much it, guys. That's how you build it. It's pretty easy. It'll be a little long, but thanks.